More than 170 nations now agree this is the time to act. Leaders signed the agreement at the United Nations headquarters. It has lofty goals like capping the rise of global temperatures and providing funding to poorer countries. CCTV's Nathan King begins our coverage from the United Nations.
Yeah, Mike, quite incredible considering where we were. Remember back in 2009, the Copenhagen summit, which broke down in acrimony and animosity with the developing and the developed world pointing fingers at each other. Well, today was very, very different.
Excellencies, we shall now proceed to the signing of the Paris Agreement.
A day many thought would never come, an ambitious climate deal. If implemented, it could literally save the planet. Signing the deal is just the start. Many countries, including China, say they're already implementing ambitious plans to cap carbon emissions by 2030 or before.
We will take effective actions at home to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. China has set the target of achieving the peaking of carbon dioxide emissions around 2030 and making best efforts to peak early, and relevant actions have been incorporated into our national development plans.
The US knows keeping any increase in global temperatures below 2 degrees Celsius will be a challenge, but one that Beijing and Washington are ready to meet.
The new energy future, the efficiencies, the alternative resources, the clean options, none of what we have to achieve is beyond our capacity technologically. The only question is whether it is beyond our collective resolve.
Both countries agree that switching to renewable energy is an investment, not a cost, and will do all they can to lead the way.
First, we'll work hard to cut greenhouse gas emissions. We'll deploy stronger measures to achieve the targets set out in the 13th five-year plan. Second, we will continue to push for international cooperation on climate change, helping to build an open, effective, and win-win global climate governance system.
Still to be worked out how to help developing nations pay for a switch to renewable energy and mitigate climate changes that are already happening. The international community has pledged to raise a whopping $100 billion a year by 2020.
It's a considerable amount of money. Nathan, this is by means, though, not a done deal. Each individual country has to ratify the agreement, and it's expected to be difficult in some places, isn't it?
Yeah, right. We had the agreement in Paris, we have the signing today, and then we've got the joining. And that's going to be the big problem. Both the US and China said they're going to do it as quickly as possible. In fact, China says they're going to do it by September. Of course, the G20 meeting, of course, in China as well. That's a big landmark. But there are big questions about other countries, especially the European Union. A lot of them have to get through their national parliaments. There are some resistance. And here in the United States, remember, we're in the middle of an election campaign. The Republican Party doesn't agree with climate change, even exists, a lot of them, so they may actually pull out of the agreement if they're elected. There are legal challenges as well. India, too, one of the biggest emitters, has a big problem getting it through their parliament. So we are not there yet. But as everyone here says, we have to unite now. It's a race against time, as the UN Secretary General said, and one emitter pulling back means the rest of the world is affected.
Very dramatic day, nonetheless. Nathan King, live for us at the United Nations.